Steph, good morning, and good morning, everyone. Here's where we're going to start today. It's official. Students across the province will not be returning to the classroom this school year.
What I'm choosing is avoiding 2 million kids going indoors for 8 hours a day for a 2-week or 3-week period.
The Premier adding schools are safe, but the fast-spreading variant first identified in India, known as B1617, posing a threat. Ontario's Science Advisory Table and the province's Chief Medical Officer of Health both said it would be safe to return to schools, but the reopening plan would need to be pushed back 2 or 3 weeks. The Ontario Liberals accusing Ford of playing politics here. The final announcement came out yesterday, exactly 1 year until the provincial election.
This entire play by Doug Ford and his team, his campaign team, over the last month or so has been all about next year's election campaign. It's not about what's good for my kids or your kids.
With schools keeping their doors closed, the Premier also hinting that the province's reopening plan could begin sooner than expected. So right now, the start date is June 14th for that first stage, with things like patio dining and non-essential businesses reopening with conditions. At the end of May, the Ford government says 60% of Ontarians had received at least 1 dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. So what does this all mean? And when can we expect that reopening plan to begin? We have a lot of questions as we look ahead and also break down the politics here. It is the last day of the legislature before MPPs are set to go on summer break. So we're going to join Queen's Park reporter Richard Southern. He will be joining it just after 8 o'clock as we take a little deeper dive into all of this. So we are another step in the right direction as the race to get vaccines into arms continues. More than 45% of teens 12 and older have now had their first shot here in the city of Toronto. The city saying since May 17th, over 74,000 teens 12 to 17 got that first dose. The city's youth vaccination strategy, including parent and caregiver town halls, special youth-focused presentations, outreach with school boards and principals. And the next phase of the program will target areas in the city where youth vaccination numbers are lower. And still ahead, coming up in the next hour, Mayor John Tory joining us with his weekly check-in, and that is coming up just after 7 o'clock. Well, Ottawa will be releasing its action plan today in response to the final report of the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau set to unveil the plan this morning at 11. It has been 2 years since this National Inquiry report was released. And as investigations continue into the recent discovery of children's remains at a former BC residential school, members of the government also acknowledging this latest discovery, sadly, will not be the last.
Number of missing and of children that died is underestimated. And so there's going to be more of these.
Officials say it will be hard to identify the remains because they do not have full access to residential school records. The UN has called on Canada to have a full investigation into the deaths of Indigenous children at residential schools. All right, a story that we're following here this morning, the Peel Police Homicide and Missing Persons Bureau being brought in after a suspicious death in Brampton overnight. Police say the area, they were called here to Temple Hill Road and Ross Drive just after the 9 o'clock hour. Officers discovered a woman in life-threatening condition with signs of trauma. She was pronounced dead shortly after. Right now, there are very few details here, but police say a significant portion of the area was blocked off for the investigation, including a nearby green space and a portion of the 410. Now, the 410 has since reopened, but we do want to bring you to a live look at the scene right now. And again, this is Temple Hill Road and Ross Drive near the 410, just south of Mayfield. Unclear if they're actually putting up more tape or if they're looking to take this down. Double check here. Oh, I see. Okay, so they're just moving the command post that they have set up for this investigation. So a bit of a change here, so stand by for that. But you can still see a large area remains taped off through here. We are just awaiting some more information on it. But again, a fairly large presence here this morning. So we'll bring you more as soon as we have it. Have a look at this. No injuries reported, luckily, following a 3-alarm blaze at a set of townhomes in Scarborough last night. Crews here arrived to 11 Shepherd Avenue, East Echo Park Gate. This is near Meadowvale Road. Multiple units on fire. Have a look at that, viewer Viz. Large flames shooting out of one of these units. Residents were evacuated on both sides. Firefighters were able to put this one out in about 45 minutes, but quite the scene. All right, they do it every single year. They're doing it again. The CAA releasing its worst roads list. And do you have any guesses? Here is one of them. We are live right now at Victoria Park in Eglinton, and not surprisingly, Eglinton Avenue making the list not once but twice. So Eglinton Avenue East is now number 5 on this list, which covers Ontario, while Eglinton Avenue West is 7th on the list. And in the top spot is Victoria Road for those who drive in Prince Edward County. Yeah, no doubt that the crosstown LRT playing a role in some of the Eglinton congestion as well. If you want to take a look at that full list, see if you agree with it, go to our website, citynews.ca. Coming up next, Toronto real estate prices up yet again in May. So believe it or not, prices are even higher as you head west. We'll take a look at those numbers with Mike Apple coming up next.